It's your boy Online Davo, and we back with another video. Look, we got a video by Dory's Diary. Pop the Balloon is exposing the disaster of black dating. Now, I ain't gonna lie, this is interesting because I used to watch some of the Pop the Balloon stuff when they first started popping out, but then as time went on, I was like, yeah, I'm done watching this shit, bro. Like, it naturally just faded out of my algorithm, and I've been cool ever since. But the title caught my attention because I never thought of Pop the Balloon as a look into black dating. I'm also saw it as like a look into people that's black, but then that are dating for the wrong purpose or dating for ulterior motives, and that comes with the attention of Pop the Balloon. But she may give me a different perspective. She may teach us something. So let's hop right into the video. Come on.
If you watch Pop the Balloon regularly, there's a specific feeling that you get about 15 minutes into every episode. And it's not necessarily frustration, secondhand embarrassment. It's more like recognition. Like, oh, I've seen this before. I've met this person. I might have been that person. And then you read the top comment and it says, "Is that time of the week when we find out why so many people are single?" And it
Right.
immediately clicks. This is why so many black people are single.
Oh shit. Uh-oh.
Now, if you're unfamiliar, Pop the Balloon is essentially a dating reality TV show here on YouTube, hosted by Arlette and BM. And it strips away everything that traditional, polished reality TV shows tend to hide behind.
So we're gonna be bringing out some single ladies one by one. When she comes around this corner, if you like what you see, she's saying all the right things. Do not pop your balloon. However, if there's anything that you're just really not feeling, you can't see yourself dating her, whatever it may be, go ahead and pop your balloon, and I'll go over to each of you and see why you ended up popping.
And remember, it's nothing like your typical dating show. It's not like your Love is Blinds and your Love Islands. It's really raw and unfiltered. And because of this, it's uniquely revealing. Those first 10 seconds of them walking in are oftentimes the toughest to watch. And it's really because it exposes how people behave when attraction is the only variable at play. If the bachelor or bachelorette walks out and the lineup isn't necessarily intrigued enough, the set transforms into a drive-by shooting.
Hello. What's your name?
Shit.
What's your name?
It literally starts to sound like the 4th of July. Mind you, the
God.
person didn't even get to say their name yet.
I ain't gonna lie. That hurt. That hurt because it's kind of like, damn. It's kind of, because that's the only thing that could judge you by, right? So it's like, if someone truly don't see you physically attractive, like then if they're not attracted to you physically and they really don't see it, it's like, that I get it. Pop your balloon. You know what I'm saying? But it's also messed up because like, damn, you ain't even get to know me. But it's also one of those things of, look, I'm just not attracted to you physically. Like, I don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste my time. But the popping the balloon makes it seem way crazier than it would be in real life. Because in real life, they would just walk right by her and they wouldn't pay her no mind, no attention, But because she's right here in front of them, they gotta let her know something about herself or how they feel about her.
And every time that happens, it makes it so hard to unsee the theme of superficiality in the current dating scene. This is also where we can observe types and standards being confused, because those two things are completely different. A type refers to superficial preferences, such as physical appearance, job title, or hobbies that often drive initial chemistry but do not guarantee long-term compatibility.
Okay.
And off rip, that's an issue because a lot of the people who come onto the show, they're clearly looking through a lens of what's my type. But that feels like self-sabotage, because if you felt compelled enough to come onto a dating show, more likely than not, the typical type that you go for hasn't been working out. So there'd be value in maybe taking the angle where you're looking for someone who matches your standards and values, maybe try something new. And the superficial popping has become such an issue. It's been noticeable how Arlette presses people way harder now whenever they pop, and you can just tell that it's for something nonsensical.
I don't like the way he's dressed. I don't like how he's dressed either.
So what's
Damn.
wrong with his fit?
I don't like the watch. I would say it's more the accessories than the fit.
Connection should be about like skin deep, like should be deeper than just what we wear. Cause we can change our clothes.
Yeah, I agree. I just didn't want to emasculate men. That's not something that I'm. So.
The variety of
Damn, what the what was you planning on saying to them? Like, what the fuck? How you what? So her only option was emasculate you, or I don't like your clothes. I don't like your outfit. That's why I popped. I mean, damn. Unless she's trying to say her saying something about them is emasculating them, I don't know. But when she says that, that also makes me think on the other hand of like, how would she react if someone said something to her, or if someone said something critiquing her? Would she use that as a way to say that they're tearing down her womanhood or some shit? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching there. Maybe I'm thinking 10 steps ahead, but that sounds crazy.
Stupid cop-out reasons that a lot of these contestants give when they don't want to just be honest and really disclose the reason why they popped on someone. It's beyond me. Oh, I don't like their shoes. I don't like their watch. I don't like when men are shorter than me. But then the man is way taller than the girl.
Like, yeah, they be saying some dumb
I'm not
shit.
making these up. These have actually happened more than once.
Why gender popping your balloon?
I'm taller than you.
Oh. No, you're not.
Yeah.
Let's see. You are not taller than him. Not even close. No. You're way
you just
shorter.
look up at the top of his head.
Still.
But in summary, the bigger issue that instances like this in the show highlight in the Black dating scene, it doesn't show any self-awareness. It's just really hard to see the point in flying to a different state just to seek out their typical types. If it hasn't worked out in your everyday life, maybe the show is the opportunity to do something different. Speaking of types and preferences, the ones that we see on the show shine a very bright light on a historical issue within the community, and that issue is colorism. I don't know if this may be a hot take or not, but by now in 2026, we should all know by now that colorism can affect any Black person of any shade or tone. So as typically and historically known, darker skinned folks tend to be viewed as less favorable, not as attractive, etc. And when it comes to lighter skinned folks, what I tend to see is them being
white supremacy. White supremacy is everywhere. It's everywhere. I'm just letting you know. I seen FD Signifier. I think he said white supremacy is like air in America. You know what I'm saying? It's everywhere, but you just don't see it. You know what I'm saying? And when you do see it, you just meant to see it. You feel me?
told that they're not Black enough. The traditional definition of colorism tends to describe the discrimination only going towards people of darker skin tones. And when it comes to both of these spectrums of colorism, they're both frequently seen in Pop the Balloon. And hey, you don't have to agree with me. I may not convince you, but these next two clips just might change your opinion.
Is he someone that's your type?
I don't like light skinned men, however, you are very attractive.
That's cool. We can move, yeah.
If it's light, it ain't right.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, see, you doing too much. You doing too much. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't light, it ain't right. What? Or if it's light, it ain't right? What'd she just say?
Yeah.
If it's light, it ain't right.
Yeah, she wrong for that. I ain't gonna lie.
But you're cute.
Oh, okay. Let's go down over there. All right, your name and age, and why did you end up popping your balloon?
My name is Anita. I'm 37. I don't think there's like an attraction between us.
Okay.
No, she's someone that's your type?
Yeah, she's my type. Definitely, I like her skin tone.
Oh,
I like dark skinned women. She's beautiful. You know what I mean? And I like the fact that you got braids.
Oh, I'm shocked, and I didn't think you were attracted.
Why are you shocked?
I don't know. I didn't think I was his type.
She beat herself before. Damn. Give the brother a chance to reject you. You know what I'm saying? That's a self-esteem issue though. You know, and honestly, on a real note, it ain't his job to fix that, or his job to correct that. I think that, I'm kind of playing chair therapist here, but you don't want to knock yourself out of the game before you even get a chance to play, and with a mindset like that, how's you ever going to get the man that you want, But I get it though. When you've been told your whole life, or you've been seeing on social media that you're a skin type, that you are undesirable to this type of man, you may internalize that, just like how people internalize everything else, you know? So I could see it, but I hope that sister, you know, figures out how to get past that mindset.
But
Yeah, nah, you very beautiful. I like your skin tone again, and yeah.
Something I think is worth mentioning, specifically when it comes to the clip of the darker skinned woman, a lot of the comments assessed that moment as insecurity on her end, but simply ruling that out as insecurity feels very dismissive to the nuance that the moment
Dory.
deserves. Black women in general, we've all experienced that backhanded compliment of, oh my God, you're so pretty for a black girl. And even besides
That's
that,
crazy.
within the community, dark-skinned women aren't shown as much love as they're shown in the comments. And let's really talk about it. Because in the comments, it's almost like we've imagined colorism. At the end of the day, colorism is a form of internalized anti-blackness that was imposed externally and maintained internally. The prominence of colorism on the show really shows the effect of the historical oppression from things like the brown paper bag test and the fine-tooth comb test. Since we mentioned the fine-tooth comb test, let's talk about hair, because
I'll say this though, before we get to the next part, I do get what she's saying in the sense, if you just blame it on insecurity and self-esteem, how you gonna fix the real issue of colorism and, you know, white supremacy and how all that plays into hand? But it's also a thing of, what about you personally? You as in yourself. You know what I'm saying? We know that there is colorism out there, you know what I'm saying? But that don't mean, not everybody internalizes colorism. You feel me? Some people don't. So we gotta ask those people, why didn't you ever internalize, you know, colorism? Why are you as a dark skinned person proud and happy to have the skin you have when someone else with the same skin tone as you is feeling down and out and not feeling too proud of themselves? You know what I'm saying? We should start. That's the thing. It starts internally, and then when it starts internally, you can express it to everybody, and it starts to latch on to people. You know what I'm saying? But I do think, at least in that situation, as we could see, he was attracted to her. He did like her skin tone, but you psyched yourself out before you had a chance. So, but maybe she just had bad experiences with dating and skin tone, you know? It'd be like that.
hair is such a recurring topic on the show. As discussed in a previous video, black hair is not a neutral topic. It's a very sensitive matter to many of us for many different reasons, but the laundry list of constructed biases towards the hair that grows out of our scalp has marginalized us and continues to marginalize us.
Huh?
I mean, there is a reason why the Crown Act exists. Black people have been told that their locks aren't professional. And then there's those instances where box braids are looked at as ghetto, but then they're cool when they're on the cover of Vogue magazine. But that's a different conversation for a different time. Just like with colorism, a lot of people in our community have internalized the whole rhetoric surrounding black natural hair. Pop the Balloon is just really showing how we still have work to do as a community. We need to deconstruct these internalized biases because it gets to a point where it's almost laughable to think about how someone could walk onto the set of Pop the Balloon.
I do think what's going to help with the internalized biases is really education. And self-educating, also self-learning. Open up a book. Okay? Open up a book, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Go learn about some history. Go learn about why they say these things about your hair and shit like that, man. It's going to have you looking at things differently. It had me looking at things differently. Now, me, I was always pretty, you know, blase blah with my hair. You know what I'm saying? I liked it how I liked it, and I wore it the way I wanted to wear it. You feel me? Once I had that choice to wear it how I want to wear it. And I also never really judged nobody else how they wear their hair, because do your thing. If that's how you want to present yourself, do you. But the point I'm trying to say is that I think that a lot of this stuff comes down to educating yourself, and it really comes down to ignorance. I don't think most people in the black community that are, I guess you could say, that aren't moving the way that we would want them to move are doing it from a sabotage way. Like, I'm gonna sabotage the black community. I do think most of it comes down to just ignorance and being able to understand how important it is to stand for this, that, and the third. How important it is to push for this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? Because as we could see, there's people out here taking real actions to suppress black people and to suppress black people's voices. So it's good to educate each other and let people know, look, your voice matter. And they say, no, it don't matter. If it don't matter, then why is people trying to stop you from having a voice? You feel me? If your voice don't matter, why is they putting so much time, money, and resources so that you are not represented? That sounds like a nigga that married to me. I don't know.
And the love of their life could be in that lineup. Their soulmate could be standing in that same room, and they reject them and pop their balloon just because they decided to wear their TWA instead of a 30-inch bust down that day. Or because a man decided to wear his locks down instead of having them up in a bun like he has to when he goes to work. Now, if you are a regular viewer of Pop the Balloon, breathe. Yes, we are going to talk about height because it is one of the main, if not one of the most annoying, regular reasons why people pop. And I don't know if it'll ever make sense.
And now, is he someone that's your type?
Go ahead,
Not
say
really.
it. Okay.
Not really.
Yeah, he psyched himself
I
out
like
too.
someone who's a little taller.
Why'd you end up popping his?
The height.
Huh?
Never mind.
It would just be for height. Yeah.
I get it though. I'm short too. I get it. But I'm not, that's the thing, but I'm not because of the height, you gonna just tell me. Just tell me it's the height. I ain't finna guess because shit, it could be something else. But like I said, it's a mindset thing. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of, taller dudes definitely are, I guess it depends. Honestly, it depends. A lot of people say they prefer taller men, but they end up with the dude that's the same height as them. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like people say what they want, but they date who they really attracted to, But if you dating a girl who says she prefers a taller guy and y'all the same height, might be bad for you, but I'm not gonna lie.
Respect.
Now, Arlette and BM, y'all knew what you were doing when you put that short man in the middle of the lineup. Y'all ain't have to do him like that. I'm not here to police anyone's preferences. But if there's one thing that I will do, it's gonna be pointing out a double standard. The discourse surrounding height on the show reveals a double standard where women see no issue when it comes to popping the balloon of a man who is not necessarily the tallest or doesn't meet their height preference. But as soon as a man pops on a woman because his preference is just longer hair, all hell breaks loose.
And now, is she someone that's your type?
Not so much. I'll say more so like the hair. More so attracted to longer hair. Yeah.
Fair enough. And Sandy, why'd you end up popping your balloon?
I ended up popping it because that comment about hair. I know your mama got short hair too. She's black. At the end of the day, black women, you don't know what to expect with our hair.
What?
We could wear it straight, we could wear it curly, and that was just like too much for me. So I don't got time for it. If you don't know, if you can't grow up from your roots, then you can't grow up with me. So that's how.
Nigga, what? What are you talking about? He said, I don't like her hair because it's short. He never said, yo, throw on this weave or throw on this, this, that, and the third. He just said, I don't like your hair because you're short. Like, and you talking about black women, this, that. Nigga, just because you black, don't mean your hair is short, gang. Like, what are you talking about? Maybe your moms might have over-permed your shit or something. You feel me? And yes, people here grow differently. If a girl tell me, look, I don't want to mess with you. Like, I'm in a relationship, but hypothetically, I don't want to mess with you because you got dreads. It is what it is. I'm not finna cut them off for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm also not finna get mad and argue with you about some shit. Like, okay, do you? Like, I ain't tripping. But like we said, it's a double standard, and women are. It's more accepted for women to speak on men and what they prefer, compared to how guys can speak on what they expect and how they prefer a woman to look. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, date who you want to date, and if your preference and if whatever comments you guys say aren't respectful, keep them to yourself. It is what it is. But she doing too much though. I ain't gonna lie. She putting on thick. It ain't even that serious.
I feel.
Go ahead. I mean, my mom's actually on my necklace. She doesn't have short hair for one.
It doesn't matter. It's about who you are as a brother. Don't talk to black women up here about hair. That's just it. You need to really check on your ends before you talk about long or short hair, because a lot of girls with long hair be having no hair just because it's long is thin. So yeah, I'm sorry, I can't.
Okay.
And she ain't lying there. And that's the thing. She ain't lying there. Some people hair be long and they don't take care of their shit. But he ain't say long, healthy hair, nigga. He said long hair. You know what I'm saying? If he cared about long, healthy, and all this, that, and the third, he would have said that. That's something for something else. But she wanted to get that off her chest, and she got it off her chest.
Sounds triggered.
There's an imbalance there. But it's not even just height. It's financial status. Sometimes it's body count. Other times it's a sense of style. All of these things have caused us to put love to the side and bring senseless arguments to the forefront. Now let's talk about how the impact of social media is seen throughout the show. Because the way that alpha male ideologies have infiltrated every single corner of the internet, it feels like,
crazy.
It's only inevitable that it would find its way onto the show on multiple occasions.
He already had something to say before we even got to him. So
I pop my balloon just because you're simply too young. But it's less about being a red flag and more about being a liability.
I get it.
If I were to bring you into my life, you would be a liability. You can't add anything to my life.
Right.
You would be a liability to everything in my life.
So what can I not add to your life? What is that?
You can't teach me anything. You can't help me with my finances in any way. You can't add any intellectual anything into my life. I can tell that you're triggered, and that's okay.
I'm not triggered, sweetheart. You are very handsome.
We can work through this together.
You
Please
said
put
I can't
your hands
bring
down.
you any.
Your immaturity will prevent you from being with a real man.
Yeah, this is cringe. I ain't gonna lie, this is very cringe. Yeah.
If we were to get together, you would be asking me questions like, Dr. Elam, what did you do to acquire everything that you acquired? What did you do to learn everything that you learned? What type of habits and skills do you have that can help me get to where I want to get?
Damn, nigga. Holy self-glazed. I didn't even know you could bend a body like that, gang. God damn. I get it, my brother. You successful. Do your thing. But it's like, this is where the corny allegations come from, man. Niggas be corny. This right here is corny. I'm gonna keep it real. You doing too much talking. You ain't my type, shawty. Boom. You feel me? You too young for me. Oh, I'm old enough. No, you ain't. Have a good day. But I get it. People want to get their shine. They want to get their spotlight while they're on the show. So it definitely adds to the entertainment factor, right? A simple, you're not my type, turns into a, you can't help me build nothing. I'm gonna have to teach you how I became the nigga I am. I'm gonna have to show you how I do the things I do. Instead of it being, you're not my type, have a good day, it's breaking down all the shit I don't like about the way you look and all that. You know, so I mean that comes with it when it comes to a show like this, but it definitely leaves the possibility of you looking like a clown, you know?
I have 2 Airbnb properties. How can we get to 4? How can we get to 8?
I already know how to do that. My dad. That's how I got it.
Next contestant, please.
Please. Okay.
The men who tend to subscribe to these alpha male ideologies, they tend to frame relationships as the man has the determining final say as to whether a woman is worthy of him. And when said ideology gets challenged, the women then get classified as loud, argumentative, immature, and even sometimes masculine. This subscription has deluded these men into viewing love as a competition and makes them view women as products or pets to be evaluated rather than a person to be known. And when men like this appear on Pop the Balloon, they make it undeniably clear that they are their own obstacle in their love lives. These social media manufactured standards are keeping people single because they've empowered people to analyze potential partners with online performance in mind. So in return, they show difficulty with receiving feedback or accepting rejection because in their mind, the whole scenario was pre-planned for them by social media. And social media would never steer you the wrong way.
Right.
Right? One of the simplest and best comments I've ever seen under an episode was, some of these folks have been single since y'all started this show. And that is just such a valid observation. There are people who have returned onto the show so many times. I know their name before
Nah, you doing hella shit, bro. Pop this nigga balloon. Hey, pop, bro, balloon. I will go back there, show every single girl this clip, so they pre-pop this nigga. What are you doing all that dancing for, my boy?
Even introduce themselves. I'm familiar with you. At this point, I know you. Like, sir, we've played these games before. We know the song. Even crossing the sea to try on the UK edition of the show with the same energy, the same standards, and the same rejections. But in a sea of losses, there's been many people on this show who have found real, genuine love and connections, and there will be many more to come. Giving up is easy, but having these uncomfortable conversations and learning from them in order to grow is a choice worth making.
Shout out Dory Diary for the video. She did her thing. Yeah, man, the black dating thing, we definitely need, black homes, black families, but also date the people that want to date you, love the people that want to love you, and keep pushing from there. As y'all can see, we got the next video coming up soon, but y'all gotta wait for that in the next video. I'm gone. Peace.